Season 3 is cruising right along, kind of like my own private yacht. And now, you may have thought that I forgot about your questions, but I didn't. Because I'm really good at remembering things. And I'm just, one of those guys who looks good in spandex. But that's a topic for another day. Let's get into your questions and get you the answers from me that you need to start winning. Hit it, James.
The Brad Johnson Show.
I'm turning losers like you into winners like me.
You're about to enter the winning zone.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, people of the earth who have questions. I'm assuming you're all listening because this is where the answers are. And I'm your host, Brad Johnson, the man with the answers. That's what they call me. Here with me is James Kirkland, the assistant to the host.
I am the assistant host.
Welcome to the Brad Johnson Show, where I'm turning loose like you. And okay, anyway, I'm going to be answering your questions. It's time to do that. But man, James, I just got back. I was in Dubai, and then I went to Melbourne, and just chilling out there for a little bit. Anyway, the craziest thing happened. I got on the plane, and then one of the air crew came up and was like, "Would you like to take a shower, Mr. Johnson?" And at first, I was a little offended. I was like, Are you saying I stink? Like, what's going on here? But then I was like, wait a second. Why is she asking about taking a shower? I thought she was pulling my leg. I mean, we have a shower on this plane? I mean, like, how did I not know that? But that, wow, James, is the miracle of outsourcing. And what do I always tell you about outsourcing?
Outsourcing is the ultimate source of turning your outs into ins.
Exactly. Things just get done without you even having to think about it. And so the moral of the story is outsource. Just do it. And who knows? One day, you might walk onto your private jet and discover there's a freaking shower on board. That happened to me. That's real story right there. Anyway, so I'm going to help you through this show, salvage the wreckage of your life through my tried and true answers that are guaranteed to change your life, maybe even for the better. But before we get to that and your burning questions, it's time for a word from our sponsor. If you see me wearing a shirt these days, which is admittedly rare, it's going to be one of my Tommy Tom dress shirts. When I'm getting ready for a workout, I like to slip into my comfortable Tommy Tom dress shirt. It stretches, it breathes, it moves. It does exactly what I need it to do when I'm working out. I don't need to iron it. I rarely need to wash it. It has a slim, tapered waist because I too have a slim, tapered waist and washboard abs and super broad shoulders on the shirt and myself. It has giant bicep receptacles for my swole arms, and it moves with me for my bench presses, my kettlebell bicycle swings, my star jump squat pull-ups, my executive board meetings, my high-dollar restaurant meetings, my other kinds of meetings, my phone calls, my nap sessions, you name it. This dress shirt gets the job done if you're a dude like me who is active and needs to look fly while doing it. Seriously, go try it out. Get your Tommy Tom dress shirt, only $1,200, and believe me, it's worth every penny. You can use the discount code Brad and Tom are stylish for 10% off your order of $2,000 or more. Don't dress for success. Dress like a winner. Tommy Tom dress shirts from Tommy Tom and Tommy Carlisle and Tom Carlisle. Hamburg, Germany, LLTD, Limited. All right, James, we got a whole mess of questions right now, and I say mess because they're got some bad punctuation and grammar going on.
Oof, yeah, mess is the only way to describe this. I mean, the audience does better with questions of late, but still need to check up on their grammar.
Yeah, and I think it's pretty obvious, too. You can look at the questions and be like, okay, this person's obviously listened since season 1. And then you look at another question, like, okay, this is a new listener right here.
Yeah, sometimes you can even tell what the person needs help with without even reading the question if you just read the words, if that makes sense.
That makes total sense. All right, so let's just jump right into these. I'm super excited to get into these questions because I have the answers, but then also because once we're done, we're going to take a little trip to the wellness well, where we're going to get than we are right now. Yep. All right, so let's just do this first question.
Okay. How do you boost your audience engagement on social media, especially on Twitter?
Ooh, okay. I like that because, yes, okay, I'm so bullish on Twitter. Like, I tell you what, I'm like a bull in a china cabinet about Twitter because I think there's so much potential there. I think it's very untapped. I think that, I don't know how many people are on Twitter, but I think it's less than there used to be. Or, I mean, more than it used to be, the number of people, that are on Twitter. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Twitter is dying, but it's still growing, and it's still the most important social platform,
Well, and I think
along with Instagram.
I think the death part is just old people like that
Yeah,
happens, you know. I mean, I'm not saying anything that nobody said before. So yeah, all those Twitter users that were on there a long time ago, yeah, I mean, go to their funeral or something. You know, that stuff happens. It's life anyway. So, but how do you boost your audience engagement on social media? So first of all, if you're posting the same thing on multiple channels, what are you doing? I mean, there is Twitter content, and there is Instagram content, and there is Snapchat content, and there is Facebook content, and there is Reddit content, and there is Twitch content, and there is YouTube content, and there is
Tumblr.
Tumblr content, and there is all the other contents. I mean,
Right, it's all different.
We don't call them the social mediums for nothing because there's more than one. So yeah,
Exactly.
that's first thing. First thing first, optimize your content for the platform upon which it is on, that the content is on. So then, and when it comes to Twitter, obviously you want to keep it below 240 characters. That's big. You also want to make it short and pithy.
Yeah, can I also add, just make sure you don't put your tweets on any other platform. Like, make them exclusive. Make it a paywall almost of access. Like,
Okay,
if you have
I
a
didn't
tweet,
like where you were going with that, James, but I think I can see what you're doing there.
what do you mean?
Oh, I didn't like what you were saying at first, but I think I understand now that
okay.
it's not as bad as I thought it was.
Yeah, you can always monetize it. So
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying.
Oh, okay. Yeah, monetize your Twitter. That would be something that's worthwhile. And that's actually, we've got a very exciting episode coming up here. Man, I'm not sure exactly when it's going to land, but it is going to be amazing. It's about a new social media platform. We've actually got the founder coming on of this new social media platform. This interview is going to be off the wall, and the charts and the chains. So
Wow.
off of everything, and except the internet, it's going to definitely be on the internet, and this podcast as well. It's also going to be.
What's it
on
called?
That. Well, I can't reveal that, James. That's the tease. That's the tease.
Oh.
So
Privileged
yes.
information.
Yes, exactly. All right, so on Twitter, yes, keep it under 240 characters. Consider doing a paywall. Those two things right there boost audience engagement like crazy. So, and then also, just use the hashtag Brad knows. I think that hashtag right there has been shown to increase audience engagement by 297%.
Right. It's one of the most searched hashtags that we know of.
Mm-hmm. And most used too. All right, next one.
What single personal characteristic has led to most of your success?
Oh man, making me blush. Man, I'd say most of them, actually. The personal characteristics that I have just kind of in me and as me. Yeah, I'd say just most of them. I don't know if I could really point to one. I think my hashtag winnerliness is definitely on top as far as all that stuff goes, but there's so much that feeds into my winnerliness that I think my roguish good looks are a huge part of it. I think people who said that ugly people can't get ahead was very, very right. Actually, I think I said that, and so I was very, very right when I said that.
Definitely.
I think
the personal characteristics like that that's hard to say, because it's like, which part of a bodybuilder's body makes them most successful at being a bodybuilder? Like, you have to have the whole body. You can't just be like, oh, his tricep is the best part of his body. Like, it's the entire person that makes them successful.
Exactly. And I totally relate to the bodybuilding metaphor. I don't know where you came up with that, since I doubt you can really relate, but I do. Definitely.
I wasn't thinking about myself in that.
Yeah, next question.
What are your opinions on the DAO and Ethereum? Are you investing?
Oh man. Okay, so they call me the crypto king for a reason. I totally know what those words that you just said mean. Which says a lot right there, because I think the majority of people don't know what the DAO and the Ethereum are.
People are so uninformed.
Yeah, I do, because crypto is just one of those things. The Bitcoin is huge. It's going to be huger. It's definitely
Yeah.
growing.
No, it's skyrocketing.
Yeah, so my opinion is yes. And am I investing? Yes. Okay. I don't handle a lot of my own personal investments except the ones that I do. And the ones that I don't, I turn over to my accountant dude. And he's rocking it. I'm telling you what. I mean, they say you got to have money to make money. And that's not entirely true. But when you do have money, man, I can make so much money off my money. And one of the ways to do that is crypto.
Now, is the DAO, is that different from the DAO? Because it sounds the same if you say it out loud instead of spelling it.
Yeah, so they are slightly different. One is like in New York, I think, and the other one is not.
Okay.
That's the biggest distinction there.
Okay, so one's in New York and one's on the internet.
Yes, exactly.
Got it. Perfect.
Yep. All right, so hashtag crypto advice right there. But please, do your own research. All right, so yeah, if you want to invest though, I'll put you in touch with my accountant. And that dude, I haven't heard from him in a bit, but last time I heard from him, he was really rocking it, making money hand over fist in the crypto world, which is really easy to do. People think it's hard, but it's not.
The only way.
Yeah. All right, next question.
Why are so many marketers afraid of Snapchat?
That's a good question right
there. I think
there.
I know the answer to this one. Face filters.
Chat. Well,
it's the filters. They're terrifying. I mean, they're pretty terrifying if you look at them.
Yeah, the little nose one, the one that makes the person's nose really small.
It changes your voice, and then one of them turns you into a woman if you're a guy. It's terrifying. It's no wonder people are afraid.
Yeah, not cool. So yeah, there's so much of Snapchat that's wrong, but I think you can still use it for marketing purposes because there's an audience there. They're a little demented and weird, but they are there. They do exist.
Right. Yeah,
so I would say
if you really need to push your business onto 13 to 16-year-old girls, that's the perfect place to do it. So if you're into investing or different things like that, that's a perfect way to reach your audience.
Something that's really gonna get with that
really
age group,
resonate
that
with
demographic.
them.
Exactly. Okay, so but I think the other reason that they're afraid is because they're old. People who get old, man, they get afraid of technology, and I am not afraid of technology. I have so much technology all around me. The digital is just my life, basically. So. Don't be afraid of Snapchat. Use it, but don't become one of the demented freaks that use it. All right, next question.
Is it better to promote my... Oops, sorry. I skipped one.
James, they're in a row.
I'm sorry. I am dyslexic sometimes when that happens.
That's not what that word means. Next one.
How does one execute like Brad Johnson?
Oh, man. That's a book right there. I mean, literally, that is one of my books.
I think that's what we call the winning guillotine.
What?
Yeah, execute, like the blade that drops and executes it. Is that not what they're talking about?
I don't think so. Anyway, get that book. It's called Execute Like Brad Johnson. And it's 475 pages, but 475 pages of solid #gold wisdom. #gold wisdom so definitely get that book and then you'll find out because I can't answer that right now. I can't give you a 30-second how to do that. You got to get the book, people. Do that. All right, next question.
Is it better to promote my restaurant on Twitter with my personal account, the restaurant account, or some mix of both?
I'd say the more promotion, the better. So I think, if you can find friends, families, phones that are left open with their access to their Twitter account, promote your restaurant on their phones, on their accounts. Yeah, because that's called social proof, which is a big term that most people don't understand, but I do.
It's very authentic too. And the other thing is, if you can hire an individual, I don't want to say hacker, that's a harsh term, someone that can manipulate logins to gain access and start posting content to other people's Twitters. That's another good way. Yeah. Obviously, don't tell anyone about it. Not because it's illegal, but just for
some things.
sake,
you don't want to give away trade secrets. That's for sure. All right, awesome. All right, so that was some decent questions, some really good answers from me, really good. Oh man, I can't even believe how good they were. All right, but now it's time for us to take it down a notch because we're going on a little trip. You and me, walking and getting the blood flowing through our legs up to our brains as we go to the wellness well. Come with me, dip your mind bucket in, and be well in the well. With my guest host, the guy who always comes in to tell you stuff that you need to know so you're not as such an unhealthy slob like you are right now. That's for sure. All right, Sky, welcome to the Brad Johnson Show. My pal, how's it going, my man?
Brad, I'm so happy to be here once again. Just establishing a healthy environment and vibe on your show is one of the greatest privileges of what I do.
I think we could really call the Brad Johnson Show, and especially this segment of the Brad Johnson Show, a biosphere, because bio means like ology sort of thing, which has to do with plants and stuff. So this is a sphere in which those things thrive.
Exactly. It's all connected.
All right. Okay. It is time for us to discuss one of the health crazes. And Sky, I love talking about this sort of thing with you because people just get all crazy about one big thing and it's like, oh, this is going to solve all the problems. But they're so wrong all the time, except when it comes to this one. This really is the cure-all.
Yes, Brad, we finally found the superfood of superfoods. Okay. This is going to change everything. It's totally worth the buzz and the hype that it's getting because it's all true. There's no gimmicks here. There's nothing made up. This is all scientifically proven by me and by my thought process.
Yeah. And we got to make a little disclaimer here that neither Sky nor I are doctors, although we could be if we actually wanted to go take the tests and stuff.
I feel like
we're
one.
not. We look like ones too. Well, more handsome than most normal ones, especially me. But anyway, yeah. So do your own research. Don't take these health things. It's just a legal disclaimer that do your own research and stuff like that. So let's get into this though. Why Moringa will literally cure everything.
Yeah, so Moringa is an edible plant that's been around for a while since plants came to be. And people have just recognized recently that the leaves and the bark and the flowers and the fruit and the seeds, they're all poisonous, but the root isn't, okay? So that's really important. First of all, don't eat any of the other parts unless you want to have a very different result. Although I haven't tried it. Anyway, so the root is really the root of the issue here, because it's been a source of food and medicine for thousands of days because it's been a very recent discovery.
Nice. And this, something I love about this whole thing is that it comes from a part of the world where when it comes from that part of the world that it's going to be healthy and it's going to be ancient and it's going to have amazing effects on you.
Exactly. I mean, it's from areas of India and Pakistan, those types of things, which is also where...
You had me at India.
Yeah, exactly. Which is also where kombucha and pita bread is from. So that means automatically healthiness.
Boom. All right. So let's get into some of these health benefits that people can use to cure all of their ailments, potentially.
Yes. And obviously, it's something you have to experiment with for yourself. It's not going to have the same results with everybody, but these are the typical results that happen. So one thing it's going to do is it's going to act as an anti-inflammatory. So what that means is it's going to be a fantastic fire retardant. So if you find yourself, you accidentally lit your sleeve on fire, you're going to use this powder and sprinkle it on your skin to keep it from burning. Okay.
Oh, that's so handy.
If you're going to be working in the kitchen,
it afterwards.
Exactly. If you're going to be working in the kitchen, just sprinkle some of that on your hands, and it will repel all the heat because it's an anti-inflammatory.
Nice. Okay, and so the next one is about lowering blood sugar, and this was just absolutely incredible to me because we were talking about aspartame and how it's people think it's bad for you, but aspartame is actually not as bad for you as most people think.
Yeah, it's actually way better than most sweeteners.
Yeah, but then we were talking about just the fact that it can increase blood sugar and all kinds of sugar can increase blood sugar, and Moringa doesn't. or it actually lowers blood sugar. So you can eat all that aspartame that you want, and then just take some moringa, and boom, it like cancels it out, right?
Exactly. And that's the nice thing about moringa is that it's a 1-to-1 ratio. So every grain of sugar is canceled out by a grain of moringa. And so you just take a scoop of each, mix them together, and it cancels out completely. So you never have to worry about eating too much sugar ever again.
Nice. And that is awesome. So you can just have all the dessert that you want and not even care about it.
Exactly.
That really is, I think that more than anything else that we could talk about right now is the cure-all part of this plant. The root of this plant is that literally dessert is completely wide open to you now.
Exactly. It just gives you so much freedom and really just opens up a whole new world of enjoyment.
Yeah. And okay, final one that we're going to go over. There's more that we could talk about because literally this is the cure-all. This is about supporting brain health and actually regenerating limbs. Like I don't even know how a food can do that.
Yeah, that's something that we're still researching, but we do believe that there is a way that you could actually train your brain to bring back lost limbs.
Wow.
We're not sure how or if it does it correctly, but it's definitely worth a try for people that need that.
Definitely. Okay, well, man, I know you're not a fan of animal tests, Sky, but I think that might be worthwhile just so we don't end up with somebody with a hand for a foot or something like that. It would be kind of awkward, but
definitely.
Yeah, well, awesome. Well, the Brad Johnson Enterprises is very interested in supporting this research because I just think there's so much potential of money to be made, people to be helped through this plant. So
Moringa could be so helpful.
Oh, yeah. Thanks, Sky, for telling the people about Moringa. And go get some aspartame and try it with your Moringa. Man, so good.
Thanks, Brad. We'll talk to you next time.
All right, that was fantastic. What a great burning question episode where the questions were asked within the episode. James, why don't you tell the people where they can submit their questions if they have questions, which I know they do because they're not where I'm at. And if since they're not, they have questions.
Absolutely. If you don't have questions, you're missing something because we have the answers and you don't know them. So ask your questions.
Maybe you need to regrow your question limb.
Yeah,
with
exactly.
Some Moringa.
Exactly. So the best way to get your question onto the show is to go to iTunes. That's the place to go. Leave what they like to call a review. We like to call them comments. Just because it's the most reliable way for us to get a comment, because you can leave 5 stars with it. And anytime there's 5 stars, we automatically see it and it's accepted as a review. If you put any less than 5 stars, it won't even recognize it. So don't even bother. But
it's more of a priority ranking than anything. So if your question is really important, which it should be if you're asking it, then just put the high priority ranking on it.
Exactly. Yes. And so the second best way to get your question on the show is to go to Twitter or Instagram and use the hashtag BradKnows. And tag us if you want as well. Follow us on there, and we'll make sure and see your question, and it might make it onto the show if it's worthwhile.
If it's worthwhile, which is a pretty high bar, because my time is valuable, like my assets that I have, including the crypto ones. All right, thanks people for listening. Remember, all the links for all that stuff is down in the show notes, and you can click on them with your finger or your mouse cursor thing. So do that and make it happen. Talk to you next time. Ciao.
You've just listened to an episode of awesomeness. Now, go out and spread the awesomeness and help others fix the mess that is their life and help them stop being a loser and start winning in business, health, and their personal life by getting them to listen to The Brad Johnson Show. Book your face, tweet your tweets, and Insta your grams at Brad Johnson Show. The Brad Johnson Show. Winners only.